welcome to the show. It is the WWE Raw post show tonight. Xavier Woods going to the King of the Ring finals. Charlotte Flair retains the Raw Women's title, despite the fact that she's going to SmackDown on Friday. And we're going to preview WWE Crown Jewel and all that that's cracked up to be. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go!
Whoop. Whoop. Hey. Yo. Let's go. It's the Ringside Report Network. I'm Dave. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us here tonight. Shout out to Brian Firth on the chat, member of the team. Don't forget to become a member of the team. Join the show. Join. Click the join button beneath me or go to join.ringsidereport.net. Become a member. Hit us up on Super Chat if you got any questions here tonight on the show. We're going to be previewing Crown Jewel. I'll talk a little bit about AEW Rampage and the SmackDown ratings. A lot of people around the wrestling world weighing in on the ratings that were close on Friday night. They were close. Those are the American ratings, of course, we're talking about. SmackDown was on Fox Sports 1, not on Fox, so a little bit of a different scenario with SmackDown on FS1 and AEW Rampage, of course, on TNT. They went head-to-head for half an hour, and people are very excited about the ratings. Both sides, apparently there are sides, WWE and AEW, both sides claiming victory. I would take it easy. Thank you, Franco. Shout out to Franco with that scary Halloween. Yeah, we're in the Halloween season, baby. Scary. What's up, Angelo? Yeah, my brother's not here tonight. He was just not, he couldn't make it tonight. So I'm here solo with you guys. You guys have any questions? You guys have anything you want to say? I want you guys to bring it tonight. Did you watch Raw? Did you enjoy the show? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all the things. Charlotte Flair started off the show tonight. It was a Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair night. Raw overall, my impression, not the best. A lot of matches that kind of went nowhere. No matches that really stood out, except for the main event. The main event was very good, and it was Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair. We started the night with those two in the ring. Charlotte starts out with a promo. She wonders why she's not being celebrated here on Raw, being her last night on Raw. She's been drafted to SmackDown, and the new brands take effect on Friday night. Charlotte Flair is the Raw Women's Champion, so her title defense tonight against Bianca Belair was a big deal. Charlotte is still the Raw Women's Champion, and she is headed to SmackDown, so you wonder what's going to happen with the SmackDown Women's Championship that'll be defended on Thursday at Crown Jewel. Becky Lynch is the champion. She's going to Raw. So it would make sense for Becky to go over to Raw, Charlotte to be over on SmackDown, and Becky and Charlotte just swap belts. They might do that. They may have Bianca beat Becky, and then Bianca go over to Raw as the SmackDown champion. They could have Sasha Banks winning, which seems unlikely at this point. We'll break it all down when we preview Crown Jewel in a little bit. But at this point, Sasha Banks winning seems the least likely because you're not going to have two champions on the same brand. If Sasha wins on Thursday, then the... I like that new Halloween Super Chat we got going. If Sasha wins on Thursday, then the SmackDown title and the Raw title would both be on SmackDown, and WWE's not going to have that go down. Harold Schneider says he was confused at the start, but glad he's watching the live show. Yeah, I was a little confused, too. I think I put in the wrong production. That might have been my bad. I pressed the wrong button. It looked like an MMA show, but it's not. It's a pro wrestling show, all right? In case you were confused, we're talking wrestling here. We'll talk MMA on Thursday after we do the Crown Jewel post show. So Charlotte Flair started out the show with a promo. She wonders why she's got to defend her title against Bianca tonight. She wonders why Bianca Belair gets 2 title shots in 1 week, which it's fair. That was a fair statement there by Charlotte Flair. Made a lot of sense to me. I was wondering the same thing myself. How come Bianca gets 2 title shots? Why doesn't Sasha get 2 title shots? Oh, well. Bianca Belair came out, told Charlotte that she's going to take the Raw Women's title from her tonight, and she said some other things. You don't go here. Girl, that type of thing. She's got little catchphrases that she does. And they weren't particularly working tonight in that promo. That promo was a little clunky when Bianca came out. Charlotte is very solid. She's very comfortable on the mic there, but Bianca seemed like she didn't have much to say and was just kind of going through it. Going through the lines tonight. Not the best promo from Bianca Belair to start the show. These babyface promos with the little catchphrases, not her strongest suit. She's very good in the ring. Very talented wrestler. She could do a lot. She seems to improve every time she's in the ring. But the promos are still kind of lacking with Bianca. She's very cocky, but she's supposed to be a babyface. You could say she's confident, but it's kind of overconfident and very dismissive of everybody else. She's not very respectful of anyone, really, even her fellow babyfaces. So it's hard to kind of get behind her as a babyface. She's strangely booked. And, yeah. We've got Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair in the main event. It was a solid match. Again, Bianca is very, very good in the ring. She's got everything going for her but the promos. The promos are still kind of not quite fully formed. But the match was really good. Charlotte started bleeding. I think she cut her lip. Her mouth was bleeding there during the match. Good stuff. A few of the strikes weren't, as solid as you might want. One of them, caught Charlotte pretty hard. But, a few strikes on both sides from Bianca and Charlotte. Charlotte was throwing some kicks in the corner that looked pretty soft. If you're going to throw them, make them look a little bit tighter. There was just kind of, nice moves. Very impressive, moonsaults and power moves from both Bianca and Charlotte. Impressive flips from both. Very nice athleticism, but as far as the strikes in between, they weren't all as solid as you might want them to be. That's really my only criticism of the match. I thought the match itself was very well done. Charlotte and Bianca are 2 of the top in their prime right now, but the match ended terribly. The booking does these people no favors, and this is a constant theme of the WWE. The booking does them no favors. And again, that's what happened here tonight. Bianca Belair winds up beating Charlotte by disqualification in the main event in a title match. You do a DQ finish in a match that you're not really setting up a rematch to. This is it. Bianca staying on Raw. Charlotte's going to SmackDown. This is your payoff match between the 2 of them for now. And it's a DQ finish, and it's not even a good DQ. It's like, well, Bianca and Charlotte wrestled for a while, and then Charlotte got tired of wrestling Bianca, rolled outside of the ring, grabbed the chair, kind of tapped Bianca with it, and that was it. Of course, the ref calls for the bell because, you can't use a chair, but that was it. She didn't even hit her that hard with the chair. In fact, Bianca took the chair from her and then hit her a few times, and she stood tall, and the show ended. The referee was talking to them a lot in the last 3-4 minutes of that match. I think the ref was telling them, let's go. Hurry up. We're short on time. Because that finish came out of nowhere. That finish came almost as if they had to just do it because Raw was over. And it was. It was very rushed. Charlotte hit the chair. Bianca grabs the chair immediately from her, not even selling the chair shot. Starts hitting Charlotte with the chair. Charlotte rolls out of the ring. Bianca puts her arms in the air. Raw goes to black. Over. Show's over. 11 o'clock. It ended quick. I think they ran out of time. I don't know what happened there, at the end, but it was a very abrupt finish, and I would bet that they ran out of time on their match. They had more stuff planned. They just got cut short. Something happened. Either they thought they would have more time, or they got lost somewhere and weren't able to find their way. I don't know what happened, but something definitely went wrong there towards the main event. Towards the end of that show, something was going wrong because they just rushed that finish out of nowhere and they ended the show immediately. Something was going on. Terrible finish. Like, you have Charlotte and Bianca, two great wrestlers. You could have easily had Bianca win the title tonight. Because what is a better story? Bianca wins the title tonight. She is the Raw Women's Champion. And then, have Becky drop the title to Sasha and have Sasha as the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Or you just have kind of the same old with Charlotte just taking her belt over to SmackDown, Becky taking her belt over to Raw, and then having a switch. You could still do that, I suppose, with Bianca winning, right? Bianca could win the SmackDown Women's title, right? Because Becky's the SmackDown champion. So Bianca could win that, go over to Raw with it, and then she could switch with Charlotte. But is that what we want? We just want the champions to be like, yeah, let's just swap belts because, whatever. Or Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce to decide that they have to swap belts. It's not great. It's not a great way to go about things. It's not a great story that's really being told here. Hey, let's, swap the belts because, they're on the different shows, so let's do it that way. It's not great. You could have had some new champions. You could have mixed things up. You could have made things more interesting, but instead, you have this terrible finish tonight. A good match, terrible finish. It's still the match of the night because the rest of the night was weak. Weak matches tonight. You had a couple matches that meant something that really went nowhere. Given no time, just nothing matches. Bunch of nothing on this show tonight. 3 hours of nothing. And the main event was good and then ends in a big nothing with a disqualification. I want to like this stuff, but it's just, tonight was not a great night for Raw. When it is a good night for Raw, I'll come out here, I'll tell you it's a good night. Tonight was not a good night. I'm not one of these guys that's going to shit on the WWE just to shit on the WWE. They just make it easy sometimes. Do a disqualification finish in a match that really didn't need it. Bianca could have won, or Charlotte could have won. Have somebody win. How about that? Somebody just wins. Does it matter? If Bianca wins, okay, she's the Raw champion. She keeps the Raw belt on Raw, and maybe that means Sasha has to win on Thursday because she's the only person, staying on SmackDown. But so what? And if Charlotte wins, well, she's Charlotte Flair. Yeah, she won. She beat Bianca. Maybe she cheats to win. Maybe she's got her feet on the rope. She's got a handful of tights, something. She could cheat to win. She didn't have to get disqualified. Somebody could have won there, and it wouldn't have hurt anything. Bianca losing to Charlotte, I don't think she should lose clean. I think if she lost clean to Charlotte, it would hurt her, especially going into the big match on Thursday. But Charlotte could have cheated, very easily and won. The disqualification is just, it leaves you kind of like a, all right, that's it. Show's over. Couple chair shots, and we're done. The high point of the show was Xavier Woods and Jinder Mahal. Not the match, but because Woods won. Woods actually won. Now, going into this, I was thinking, okay, everybody wants Xavier Woods to win, but I don't think Xavier Woods is actually going to win because the WWE very rarely gives the fans that pay attention what they want. And you really have to be paying attention to Xavier Woods, and it's not really been a WWE story, right? It's been an Xavier Woods story. This has been something that he's talked about on his YouTube shows and his podcasts and all the different things that he's done. His want, his desire, his boyhood dream to become King of the Ring. This has always been something that Woods has talked about. He wants to be King of the Ring. He doesn't care about winning or main eventing WrestleMania or winning the Rumble or whatever. I mean, I'm sure he would enjoy those things. But his goal, his dream as a kid was to win the King of the Ring. And this is something that he has talked about and the WWE hasn't really pushed as a story. So usually when there's an outside story that the fans are kind of organically into, the WWE will use that to crush their dreams. WWE will go against that and say, ha ha ha, you stupid fans, you dumb marks, right? That's usually what the WWE will do, and the fans will respond and say, well, why do you do that? It's not cool. Why don't you just give us what we want sometimes? And I feel like maybe they're going to this time. Maybe. But Woods has to beat Finn Balor, so I don't know. But I did not think that Woods was going to go in here and win tonight because you have Finn Balor, who's a babyface, you have Jinder Mahal, who's a heel, and you have Woods, who's a babyface. So I figured if somebody's going to face the babyface Finn, it would be the heel Jinder. But no, it was Xavier Woods getting the win, so we'll have a babyface on babyface King of the Ring final, Finn versus Woods at Crown Jewel. The match was, all right. As good as you can do with Jinder. And Woods hit his springboard elbow drop for the pin. Pinned him clean. Won. It was actually a pretty good match because they teased the Colossus a couple times. Woods even took the Colossus, and I thought it was over. Woods takes the Colossus, Jinder's finisher, and then Jinder goes to pin him, but Woods gets his foot on the ropes or I think he maybe grabbed the ropes with his hand, whatever. Rope break. And that was a big moment in the match. That was a big false finish. That might have been match of the night. Honestly, it's close. Jinder and Woods, Charlotte and Bianca. Charlotte and Bianca would run away with match of the night if they didn't have such a terrible finish. But because Woods and Jinder kind of had a happy ending finish with Woods winning, we need some happy endings in pro wrestling once in a while, right? Woods won. It was nice. And, the match was well put together. They told a good story. And the couple teases of the Colossus and even hitting the Colossus. Once Jinder hits the Colossus, man, he's won WWE championships with that move. He beat Randy Orton with that move. Like, this guy has won a lot of matches with that move. So I thought maybe he would win here against Jinder. But he did not. Jinder did not. Jinder lost. And Woods won. And it was pretty good. Pretty exciting. I'm also just noticing that I just noticed this tonight, and I think New Day has had this gear for a while, but they have this wrestling gear, the stuff that they wrestle in. And, they got a jacket and pants and stuff. Woods and Big E and Kofi, they all have matching gear. They always have different themes to their gear. And I thought that this current theme was The Godfather because they had the New Day written out in kind of Godfather lettering. But tonight, when I saw Woods doing his promo in Gorilla, I realized that Woods on his jacket had a bunch of words, and I start reading the words, and they say, like, Fuji La, and the score, and it was just, like, a bunch of different words there, zealots, and I was like, wait a second. Those are song titles from the album The Score by the Fugees, and that is the theme of their gear. If you hadn't noticed, they have, there's a picture of them, the three of them, which is exactly like the picture of the Fugees on the cover of The Score. It is Fuji's The Score themed gear that the New Day is wearing, which is very specific. But when you get it, when it all comes together, you're like, what? Are you wearing Fuji's gear? Like, what's going on here? And I love it. As a fan of that album, how could you not be if you've heard it? It's pretty fantastic. How could you not love the gear? It's the kind of shit that New Day does that nobody else is doing. They've got Fuji's The Score gear. They've got the whole album, all the song titles on their gear written out. They got pictures of themselves, Fuji style, on their gear. That's pretty fantastic. How could you not support a wrestler with Fuji's gear? I support that 110%. Wyclef, Lauryn Hill, Praz as well. Gotta love Praz. Ghetto Superstar? Who didn't like Ghetto Superstar? Of course, Lauryn Hill, legendary. Wyclef, The Carnival. You know what I mean? Masquerade. You guys ever heard the album Masquerade by Wyclef? Tremendous. You guys heard The Carnival? You must have heard The Carnival. Gone Till November? You know what I'm talking about. As a fan of Wyclef and the Fugees, I was very pleased to see Xavier Woods and Kofi and even Big E wearing that gear tonight. And I think they've been wearing it for a little while, but I never noticed that it was Fugees The Score themed. It's pretty fantastic. Very pleased to see that. These are the kind of things that I notice that maybe not every other wrestling show will notice. Wyclef did a song with The Rock. You remember that song? It Doesn't Matter. I got 5 Bentleys in the West Indies. It doesn't matter. You remember that? Tremendous. Tremendous song. So good. I mean, not great, but, you know, Wyclef and The Rock, how could you go wrong? Have you heard The Rock's verse on that Tech 9 song? The Rock has like a rap. It's weird. It seems like it was not written by The Rock. I think it was written by somebody else for him. But he performs it, and it's strange. Not the first time that The Rock has rapped, you know, the Wyclef song, but there's a current Rock rap song out there. He features on a Tech 9 song, and it's weird. I kind of like it, but I also don't really like it. I like it because it's The Rock rapping kind of like Tech 9, and it's just strange. I like it for the novelty. It's not legitimately good, but it's strange, so I like it. Kind of like pro wrestling, you know, it's just weird. So Woods and New Day, they have that Fuji's gear, and it's pretty sweet. The Rock is a great rapper. This is what you learn on this show, okay? These are the kinds of things that you will hear about. Our Truth, speaking of great rappers, Truth has got a new song out too. I see him promoting it. All right, Truth. I mean, you know, Truth knew Tupac, all right? Truth met Tupac. I think he like toured with him. He was like one of Tupac's dancers, I think, at one point. Truth is legit, all right? Don't fuck with our Truth. Seriously, he's been to jail. Don't fuck with our Truth. Austin Theory was supposed to wrestle our Truth, but then Truth said that the match was not for him. It was for his friend Jeff Hardy. And then Austin Theory beat Jeff Hardy after a move. He pinned him. I don't know what you call the move he did, but he beat him. He beat old Jeff. The match was actually pretty good. I love watching Jeff Hardy wrestle. So, you know, Jeff Hardy beating up a kid. There was like a thing he did in a barricade. He kind of like jumped on him, and Austin Theory kind of got squished on the barricade. I like that. I like when Jeff Hardy uses his body to squish young wrestlers. It's fun for me. It's fun for me to see Jeff Hardy just kind of jump off the top rope and just like squash a guy. You just hear about Jeff Hardy's swanton and how it used to be kind of graceful, and now he just kind of thuds on people, and he talks about it, and other people talk about taking it and how rough it is and how much it hurts. So then when you watch Jeff Hardy and you see him squashing people, you're like, you know, that really hurts. It's pretty good. Because you've heard interviews. Well, I have anyways. I've heard many different interviews about different guys taking these, swanton moves and different, Jeff Hardy kind of jump on you and squash you moves. And apparently it hurts like hell because he just lands with all his weight and fuck it. I think he was maybe a little bit lighter in his younger days, like lighter as far as his landing. Didn't, put all his weight on you. But now, he's a little more beat up and he's a little older, so he's going to squash you like a bug. I like seeing him do that to Austin Theory. Theory did win. Theory went to take a selfie with Jeff after the match. But then, Jeff's down and Theory's like, oh, I'm going to take a selfie with you, making fun of you. Kind of like what Paige Van Zant's been doing with Chris Jericho on AEW. Who did that first? Is Austin Theory doing the Paige Van Zant gimmick? Needs to work on his selfie game. Hardy fought out of the selfie and hit. Yeah, that's right. He fought out of a selfie. And then he hit the twist of fate on Austin Theory, then took his own selfie. And it was kind of weird because Jeff was like leaning on Austin Theory and taking like a selfie. And Theory kind of pushed him off, was like, get off of me. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be selling right now? Why are you telling me to get off of you? And Jeff, if he's telling you to get off and he's selling, and he's like pushing you and you get off, shouldn't you kick him in the face after that? It was a weird moment because you could clearly see Jeff on Austin Theory after he had hit the twist of fate. And Austin Theory, Jeff's taking a picture and Austin Theory's like, get off of me, pushing him off. And Jeff does, and then he just leaves him alone. Kick him in the face, Jeff. It was weird. They're trying to make Austin Theory into a thing again. We'll see. He's got a look. He's got ability. I don't know if he's got the it factor, There's like something. He talks a bit backstage. He did a little promo thing, and it was like, all right, cool. Give him time. It's like Bianca Belair, like a lot of talent. Although Bianca's got way more of a character and way more promo than Austin Theory. So, not quite. But, there's a lot going for them both. But that kind of character development and promo, it'll come over time. It's not there yet because they're still pretty young in the game. Both of them, inexperienced as far as high-level main event TV spots where they're given microphones and allowed to kind of shine, right? Other people have had way more experience with it. And even then, they don't always do that well. Big E and Drew McIntyre beat Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. E got the pin on Dolph after hitting the big ending. Drew and E faced off after the match and shook hands. Drew and E will wrestle each other at the Crown Jewel for the WWE title. I'll do a quick Crown Jewel preview here at the end of the Raw recap as soon as we get through all the exciting action of Monday Night Raw. Street Profits did a backstage promo talking about being on Raw and how excited they are for Crown Jewel, kind of hyping things up. AJ Styles and Omos came in and talked to them, and yeah. And then it was Riddle and Randy, RK Bro, who also did a backstage promo, just more goofy shit from Riddle. RK Bro was like a very hot angle at one point, and people really liked them. And now, not. Now you see Riddle backstage with Randy just saying the dumbest shit possible. Before, he was kind of like a badass, Riddle. Being with Randy has relegated him into this goofy sidekick, love-struck loser. He's just in awe of Randy. He loves Randy so much. He just wants Randy's approval. He says a bunch of dumb shit. And then, the Street Profits want the smoke. Oh, I like that, bro. It's like, all right. It was bad. These Riddle and Randy promos are just getting worse every week. And it started out with a compelling story, a good gimmick. Riddle beats Randy, earns Randy's respect. Riddle wants to team with Randy because he respects Randy as a veteran, as a legend. Randy decides to team up with the young kid, and now it's just devolved into this comedic idiocy. Riddle is just stupid. Riddle seems dumber and more childlike, like he's, got developmental issues. Like there's something wrong with him at this point. He doesn't even seem like an average IQ adult male, is what I'm trying to say. Right? He seems below average on the IQ scale. He seems a little dull. I don't think the man is himself, although I question a lot of things about the man, different things you hear about him, questionable. But the character seems like a moron. Can you say moron still? He's a moron. Sorry. It's not good. And then Riddle and Randy and the Street Profits, that goes to a no contest when AJ Styles and Omos attack everybody. Another no contest finish here. AJ hit the phenomenal forearm on Randy. Omos chokeslam Riddle on the apron. I like that. I like Omos beating the shit out of people. I like Omos and AJ Styles. How can you not? Omos is gigantic. AJ Styles is one of the best wrestlers of all time. Hard not to like those guys. Everybody else? I don't know. Omos gorilla press Montez. AJ and Omos kind of stood tall there. No RKO from Randy. No nothing. Not great. And it's going to be AJ and Omos against Randy and Riddle at the pay-per-view. Mansoor beat Cedric Alexander via pinfall after a neckbreaker. Mustafa Ali came out after the match and told Mansoor he's going to wipe the smile off everyone's face at Crown Jewel in Mansoor's hometown. And then Mansoor fired up and told Mustafa to shut up, and he's going to beat him at Crown Jewel. That'll be a match that'll happen at the pay-per-view. Pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. Network special, Blood Money Incorporated, whatever. Whatever it is what it is. Goldberg and Bobby Lashley, speaking of blood and murder. Goldberg wants to murder Bobby Lashley. He keeps telling him so. They did an interview via satellite, each in their little rooms somewhere, interviewed by Corey Graves. Goldberg says he's going to beat Bobby within an inch of his life at Crown Jewel and then finish him. Again, telling him he's going to murder him at Crown Jewel. Bobby says, you're threatening my life. I could call the cops on you. What are you doing here, Goldberg? You should be ashamed of yourself. And then Goldberg ends the thing with, I'll kill you later, Bobby. I'll see you on Thursday when I kill you. I was like, what? A lot of murder threats by Goldberg. Every time Goldberg does a promo on Bobby Lashley, he threatens murder. When they first did it, I thought, maybe that was Goldberg kind of going off script, making a mistake. He was supposed to say, I'm going to kick your ass, but instead he was like, I'll kill you. He didn't really mean it. But they've made it part of the story. It's obviously part of the story. He's being told he's supposed to kill Bobby Lashley. Goldberg is being told to tell Bobby, I'll kill you. I'm going to kill you. You're going to be murdered in my hands. Because in Saudi Arabia, you can do that type of thing, and no one asks any questions. I mean, is that the story? I don't understand. So Goldberg plans to murder Bobby Lashley in the ring. And then what? Is he going to go to a Saudi Arabian prison? Because I can imagine for a guy named Bill Goldberg, a Saudi Arabian prison might not be the place you want to be. I got a feeling my man Goldberg does not want to be in a Saudi prison for the murder of Bobby Lashley, right? So what is the end game here, Goldberg? I don't really understand this story. Wouldn't it be crazy if he actually did kill Bobby Lashley in the ring? Like, what? Or if Bobby killed him? Like, it's a bad omen, You're going to Saudi Arabia. You're talking about murdering people. It just makes me nervous. I hope Goldberg doesn't die in Saudi Arabia. I just hope he doesn't die. He's old. He's always huffing and puffing when he's in the ring. Like, he's not old for a human, but he's old for a wrestler. You know what I mean? He's in his 50s. That's not old. But for a wrestler, it's old, you know? You know, 36 is not old for a person. For a pro fighter, it's old. You're 36 as a pro fighter, you're on your way out. You're old, right? You're 54, you're 55 as a pro wrestler, you're old. You're not old as a human, you're not near death. But Goldberg, you know, a lot of wear and tear on his body. WWE's got a crack medical staff. Hopefully they're taking care of him. I don't think they'd let him in the ring if, something was wrong with him. But all this murder talk is just worrisome, you know? Goldberg talking a lot of murder. What if the Saudis take him seriously and arrest him as soon as he gets to the airport, you know? Who knows? They've been kidnapped before in Saudi Arabia. Who knows? Doudrop's going to Saudi Arabia. She must be excited. She's going to have to wrestle in one of those full body suits, right? She can't be showing any kind of skin. That's the thing with the women, which is always the weird thing about when they wrestle in Saudi Arabia. I mean, one of the weird things. But the thing that strikes me the most is the women wrestlers have to cover up, like, their whole arms and legs and, of course, chest and belly. All that stuff has to be covered up. They have to be, like, covered. You know, they could not have headgear. They could wear nothing on their head. They could show their face and hair. But the rest of their body's got to be covered up head to, neck to toe, right? Shoulders to toe. Whatever you want to say to toe. Now, the men could come out in underwears and wrestle in greasy underwears and, like, wrestle each other. No problem. The women can't come out in their normal gear, which, by the way, shows less than, Randy Orton. The Saudis have no problem with the dudes coming out in their little underwears and wrestling each other all oiled up, but they don't like when the women come out and do it. I also don't think that they are too keen on homosexuality, which, like, it doesn't really add up. You're down with semi-naked oiled dudes, but not down with homosexuality. Pardon me? And you're also not down with women showing any skin. It's very confusing. I don't understand the Saudi Arabian culture. I think they're great. I think they're lovely people. But it's very confusing. Their rules confuse me. Homosexuality? Bad. Semi-nude men? Good. What? Semi-nude women? Bad. Confusing. Right? It's confusing. Doesn't seem logical to me. You would think, if you were a culture that was against nude women, but pro-nude men, you would also be pro man-on-man sex, because you like, you're fine with, what's the problem here? Saudi Arabia, you guys, man, your rules. So Doudrop's going to have to cover up because she beat Shayna tonight. Doudrop is going to the Queen's Crown Finals. Zelina is going to have to cover up quite a bit from what she was wearing tonight. Quite a bit, Zelina. Zelina had quite an outfit on tonight. She looked fantastic. She looked great. Doudrop looked great. Shayna looked great in her purple gear. She was matching the Queen's Crown logos and graphics. I was like, oh, she's going to win. She didn't win. She lost to Doudrop. Shayna lost to Doudrop. Let that sink in for a minute. Shayna. It's never going to work for Shayna, is it? Poor Shayna. I wish, they would just go with Shayna. I wanted her to win this whole thing, and it doesn't look like it's happening. I like Shayna. She's so legit. Doudrop makes everybody look small. She didn't look that big next to Shayna. Shayna's big and strong and powerful and legit and just good. Good at wrestling, She applied her Karafuda clutch. I thought Doudrop was going to tap, but eventually, Shayna had Doudrop's back. They were down on the mat. Doudrop kind of leans back with Shayna still holding the the choke, but Doudrop leans back. Shayna's shoulders were pinned on the mat. 1, 2, 3. Doudrop wins. Reverses the Karafuda clutch to get the win. Not the most exciting finish, but, a little surprising that they went with Doudrop. Although it shouldn't be surprising because Doudrop and Zelina is a match that makes sense. Zelina is a heel. Doudrop is a babyface, so I guess they are doing one traditional heel versus babyface match for the King of the Ring finals, or Queen's Crown. King of the Ring will be Finn versus Xavier, and I'm really hoping Xavier Woods wins, but it's the WWE, so you never know. But I really hope they give it to us. It's what we want to see. Zelina Vega versus Doudrop will be the Queen's Crown finals. Finn Balor did wrestle tonight. He wrestled a Mace, and he beat him with the coup de grace. I mean, no shit, right? I think Mace was going to beat Finn Balor tonight. It's not like Mace is in the King of the Ring finals. No one cares about Mace. Xavier Woods was watching the Finn Balor match from the throne. Woods pointed at Finn from the stage with the scepter. Woods was holding the scepter, and Finn yanked the scepter and Woods off that little stage thing they had. And then Woods got kind of intense and faced off with Finn, and they talked a little trash. Kofi came out to separate them. I didn't really like that. That Kofi had to come out. Like, let Woods and Finn just kind of do their thing. Why does Kofi have to inject himself into that? Why does the WWE have to do that? Why couldn't Woods and Finn just kind of have their face-off? It's a one-on-one match. Kofi shouldn't be involved. Why is Kofi involved there? Why does he have to kind of break it up? Why? Anyways. And then the Viking Raiders were backstage with John Morrison. They wonder what Morrison was doing. Morrison was just meditating. This is just weird. Morrison talking about finding his chi, and the Viking Raiders are like, when you do that, can you raid? And he's like, I don't know. And they're like, why would raid? The raiding is good. Let's go raid. And it's like, all right, what does that mean? It's unclear. Viking Raiders are just this goofy tag team. Talks about raiding, whatever that means. They go off. They disappear. I don't know. John Morrison was there. He was talking. He's doing some sort of guru gimmick. It's not good. I don't know what the hell they're doing with Morrison. 2 weeks in a row now, he does these little backstage promos, and they're terrible. Nikki Cross did a little backstage promo with her partner there, Rhea Ripley. They're the tag team champions. And that's all they do with them, too. They're just, they're little backstage awkward promos. They welcome Bianca Belair to Raw. Not good stuff. Not good. A lot of filler. A lot of crap on Raw. And that was Raw. So we got Xavier Woods versus Finn Balor coming up on Thursday at WWE Crown Jewel for the King of the Ring finals. I think the match should be very good. I'm hoping Xavier Woods wins. I don't trust the WWE, but at this point, I think they have to do it. Xavier Woods is going to win. He's going to be King of the Ring. As I say that, though, I don't even believe it. I think they'll probably give it to Finn. If I had to put money on it, I'd probably put money on Finn because it's Finn, and I think they want to give Finn a little push as a singles guy, and he's already the prince. They could make him the king, the demon king, the king of the ring. I think Finn probably wins. But I would like to see Woods win, and I think that it would really suck to be this close to Xavier Woods winning King of the Ring, something that would be a feel-good moment for Woods and the WWE fans, the hardcore fans, the people that really pay attention, the people that really like Woods and New Day and stuff. It would be a really feel-good moment for a lot of people. I think more people would be happy with Woods winning than they would be happy with Finn winning. I don't think Finn winning does very much other than elevate Finn a little bit for some sort of push that they have planned for him. It just doesn't do much for... I don't think it does that much for Finn. He's Demon King of the Ring. Okay. It's just a name thing, really. For Woods, it would make him a legitimate single star. Big E's the WWE champion. Kofi's been WWE champion. Woods is the only guy who hasn't kind of broken out and had any kind of accomplishments as a solo act. Give him this. Let him be King of the Ring. It's his goddamn dream as a professional wrestler. I couldn't be a bigger fan of Xavier Woods. I feel like I say it all the time. He's got everything you would want in a pro wrestler. Came out tonight, had a very good match with Jinder Mahal. You know? Come on now. It would be a lot more useful to have Woods win than to have Finn win. Finn wins. It's a slight gimmick change. It's a slight refresh. It's a slight name change, and that's it. Woods wins. You have a new star. What do you want to do? Refresh Finn for a minor push? Or create a new star in Xavier Woods? I think they should go with Woods, but I don't trust them. I think they'll go with Finn. Other matches here at Crown Jewel. Big E defending the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. Drew is going to SmackDown. Big E is staying on Raw with the WWE title. Big E's going to win. Hopefully it'll be a clean finish. I think it will be. I think he hits the big ending and wraps it all up. 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring. That's how it should be. Big E should beat Drew McIntyre clean. Drew will go over to SmackDown, be a threat for Roman Reigns. Big E will stay on Raw as the WWE Champion and probably feud with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley wrestling Goldberg here in a no-holds-barred match. Bobby beat him at SummerSlam, and then he beat up his son. Thank you, Antoinette. I don't know if Bobby's going to beat Goldberg again here. I feel like Goldberg wins this one and maybe kills Bobby. But I think they make it 1-1 here, and I think Goldberg and Bobby probably do it again. Maybe on January 1st, on that pay-per-view they have on January 1st. Or maybe at Survivor Series. Team Bobby versus Team Goldberg at Survivor Series? I don't know. But I think that this is the second of 3 matches between these two. I think Goldberg will win this one, and Bobby will win the next one. And then we'll move on to Bobby and Big E, I think. Unless they just have Bobby win 2 in a row. It seems awful unlike WWE, though, for them to have Bobby Lashley beat Goldberg to retain the WWE title at SummerSlam, lose a WWE title. Not to mention, he beat Goldberg to retain the title, also beat up Goldberg's son after the match. Then he's lost the WWE title since. It seems like this is where Bobby loses to Goldberg. Goldberg's big in Saudi Arabia. They always like to bring him out for those shows. I think Goldberg probably wins this one against Bobby, no holds barred. I hope it's short. I don't think it'll be that good. It's Goldberg. Their match at SummerSlam was not that good. Big E and Drew could be good. RK Bro defending the Raw Tag Team titles against AJ and Omos. Yeah. I can see AJ and Omos taking them back here. I think RK Bro is just terrible. It's not really working anymore, and you might want to break them up. I could see the WWE breaking them up here and having AJ and Omos win. But I think the smart money is probably on RK Bro to retain. I think RK Bro probably retains the belt. Although, if we're going to see a title change, I would say probably it would be the Raw Tag Team titles. Of all the title matches here that we have on the show, Big E and Drew, Becky defending her title against Bianca and Sasha, Roman defending his title against Brock Lesnar. I think the most likely title change, honestly, is RK Bro dropping the Raw titles to AJ and Omos. It could happen. Becky Lynch defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. We know Sasha Banks isn't winning. Sasha Banks is definitely not winning the SmackDown Women's title, even though Sasha is the only one in this match who's still going to be on SmackDown come Friday night, right? But Charlotte Flair is the Raw Women's Champion, and she's going to SmackDown on Friday night. So Raw needs a championship, which means Becky Lynch or Bianca Belair, the two people that are going to be on Raw, have to walk away from this match with the belt? I think it'll be Becky. I don't think Bianca wins the belt back from Becky here. I think Becky maybe even pins Sasha, doesn't pin Bianca. Becky pins Sasha and wins and retains the SmackDown Women's title, and then Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville have some sort of ceremony or whatever where they take Becky's belt, they take Charlotte's belt, and they swap them. So Becky will be the Raw champion, Charlotte will be the SmackDown champion, and we'll move on from there. Roman Reigns defending the WWE Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar. I think this is Roman getting a win here. I don't think Brock's the one to take it from Roman. Although they have surprised us before, right? You never know with Brock. You never know with Brock. That's the thing. You could think, you could be pretty certain, but you never know 100% because the WWE, they like Brock. They love putting big belts on Brock. And if there was ever a star big enough to beat Roman Reigns, it would be Brock. So I think, it's possible Brock wins, but I would say highly unlikely. I think Roman Reigns will walk away still Universal Champion. He'll move on. He'll feud with Drew McIntyre or whatever. Maybe they'll revisit this Brock Lesnar issue again. They'll definitely have Paul Heyman involved in this match, probably in the finish in some way. They've been doing this whole Brock Lesnar still with Paul Heyman, Heyman claiming that he's not, Brock saying, oh yeah, we're still, you're still my advocate, Paul Heyman, and Heyman's like, no, Roman, I'm just with you. And Roman's like, oh, I don't know about this. So Heyman will definitely be involved in some way, maybe accidentally do something to Roman that benefits Brock, maybe cost Roman the belt. I don't think so, but maybe. It's not out of the realm of possibility, which makes it an interesting match to tune into. I think Roman and Brock is the match of this card. That, to me, is the top match, the most exciting match of the card, because there's big stakes on the line. You got the WWE Universal title, and Brock Lesnar could possibly win. He could win. Roman could also win, and I think the match is going to be very good because Brock and Roman have really good chemistry. Roman takes a hell of a beating from Brock Lesnar. So I think the match will be good. Brock hasn't wrestled in a while, too. It's going to be a big deal. Right? We haven't seen Brock in a while in the ring, so this will be good. I think Brock, Roman might steal the show. Hopefully they do. They will close the show. They've got to be the last match on the card. It's Roman Reigns. It's Brock Lesnar. It's the main event. I think Roman retains. I got Roman retaining, Becky retaining, RK Bro dropping the belt, and Big E retaining. I've got Xavier Woods as King of the Ring. Maybe. Or maybe Finn. I don't know. I'm really on the fence. I think Finn. I think Zelina Vega will be the Queen's Crown winner. I think Zelina will beat Doudrop, and Zelina will be the Queen's Crown winner. It fits. Zelina needs a reboot. This would be a good gimmick for her. I like it. I think the match itself could be hit or miss. I don't know. Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali. I mean, I wonder who's going to win that match. Mansoor, it's his hometown. He's from Saudi Arabia. He's from Riyadh. Come on, he's winning. This whole match is designed for Mansoor to get a big win at home in a storyline that's been used on Raw. Mansoor definitely beats Mustafa Ali here on Thursday afternoon. Noon Eastern time is the start time for WWE Crown Jewel this coming Thursday. I'll be watching it this Thursday afternoon, and then we will be recapping it, doing the post-show right after Crown Jewel as soon as it ends. I think around 3 or 4 o'clock. We'll get the time for you here on the channel. That's why you subscribe. That's why you like the video. That's why you stay locked on the Ringside Report Network. We've also got Edge versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell. I mean, they're doing it big, right? Roman versus Brock. Becky, Bianca, Sasha, triple threat. Big E and Drew. Goldberg, Bobby Lashley. King of the Ring. Queen's Crown. Edge versus Seth in a Hell in a Cell. I mean, they are bringing it to Saudi Arabia. This is a big deal. This is a big card. We've got this. We've got Survivor Series, and that's it for the year 2021. Those are the only 2 big shows left for the WWE this year. this and Survivor Series in November. So buckle up. Edge and Seth, they're 1-1 in the series. Edge won, Seth won. I think Edge wins this one. Hell in a Cell. This is a stipulation Edge wanted. I think Edge wins. And this could steal the show. I think this will be a really good match. The only problem for me with this match is, the build. I haven't loved the build to this. We've been kind of dragging along for a long time with these two. The whole Seth Rollins going to Edge's house was not great. The Edge promos in retaliation have not been stellar. A lot of just mean, angry, intense Edge. And, nothing really behind it. It's just kind of like, I'm going to sit here in the ring and get really mad every week. It's like, all right, dude, we get it. We get it. I'm not a big fan of the build-up to this match. The Seth Rollins promo on SmackDown this week was not good. Not good. But, the match itself should be good. It's Hell in a Cell. It's Edge. It's Seth. They're both good wrestlers. Should be good. It's not their fault the writing sucks, right? It's not their fault they're given the same material week in and week out to just kind of rehash. It's the same rehash bullshit for the past 3 months with these guys. But hey, at least when they wrestle, it's good. So Edge, Seth, I got Edge winning. And that's Crown Jewel coming up on Thursday afternoon. And AEW Rampage and SmackDown went head-to-head a little bit last Friday. AEW Rampage, of course, was on TNT in the States from 10 to 11. SmackDown was on Fox Sports 1 from 8 to 10:30. So there was that 10 to 10:30 chunk where they went head-to-head. And it seems as though, SmackDown had more total viewers than AEW. But the 18 to 49 demographic, AEW is claiming a win or a tie. Or a tie because of the win. Apparently, they scored a narrow victory in the 18 to 49 male demo. This according to the Pro Wrestling Torch. AEW had a .34 to a .32. Rampage was .34 and SmackDown was .32 in the 18 to 49 demographic. So a slight win there. They still lost in the overall viewers for the show, which makes sense because WWE is just a more well-known product. It's just strange, the ratings and how people kind of read into them, and there's just a lot put into these things. And at this point, it seems like such a narrow margin between the two shows that both companies are claiming victories in one aspect or another. WWE can say, well, we had more viewers. AEW can say, well, we had a better 18 to 49 demo, and So, I don't put too much stock in what happened on Friday night as far as the ratings. I think that AEW not getting blown out of the water is a win. Is a win for AEW. The fact that they are close to the WWE is a win because no other wrestling company could really come close to the WWE as far as viewers and demographics and stuff like that. No other wrestling company in the world right now is coming as close to the WWE as AEW. Is AEW beating the WWE right now in ratings and money and all that stuff? No, they are not. But they are closer than anybody else is and has been for quite some time. So that they can definitely take as a victory of sorts. They're doing good TV, AEW. They're making money. They're signing guys. They're doing well. They're on the right track. Have they won? No. But they're definitely on the right track, and they're doing well. But people that are taking it as a major victory for the ratings for either side, I don't really think, like WWE, yeah, you had more overall viewers. You should. It's Smackdown. It's a show that's been on for 20-plus years. AEW Rampage is in like their 6th week. You know? You should do better than Rampage. The fact that they're this close is, it's worrisome for the WWE. But for AEW to kind of claim victory or anything, like, yeah, it's good. They're close, but they're not winning. They're not putting WWE out of business. And they're not, beating WWE and all the demographics and viewers and everything. Like, once that happens, if they could have more viewers and more this and more that, and if they could really start beating them where it's like by a wide margin, then that's a different story. Then you're in WCW territory, the 83 weeks, right? But they're not there yet. But it's just funny to me to see the victories being claimed on both sides. I'm seeing it online today. The numbers came out, and I'm seeing all sorts of AEW fans saying, oh, look, we're close, and, our viewership is better because the people, the demographic, and WWE saying, yeah, but look at the overalls and the money and this and that, and we're on Fox, and both sides have their point, but for either side to claim victory seemed like a tie. Seemed like more of a draw than anything on Friday night. So, I think it's great for AEW that they're doing well and that they're happy with their rating. I think it's great for the WWE that they're doing well and that they're happy with their rating. I think that more people should watch professional wrestling. I think we should have as many people as possible watching professional wrestling. That's just good for pro wrestling. Harold Schneider says he read the WWE had to lower ticket prices. AEW is selling more tickets. Yep. I've seen that too. But I also saw that AEW was struggling to sell tickets in Miami. So much so that they did a promotion kind of last minute where if you brought a flag of the country where you were born in or where your parents or grandparents were born in, if you just brought a flag, any flag, you could get a picture with Cody Rhodes. So they were just begging people to come in. I mean, could you imagine the WWE doing a similar deal? Bring a flag, any flag, into the arena, and you will get a meet and greet with Roman Reigns. You think that's happening? So, and I feel that a lot of news sources where we're getting our wrestling news, there's like an AEW bias for most of them. Like, you kind of want AEW to win, and I have this bias myself. They're the underdog. How can you not root for the underdog? And it's not that it's not that these wrestling people are biased and hate the WWE, and they're like, oh, we just want AEW to succeed. It's just, it's subliminal. They're not aware of it. You got to be aware of your biases. Now, I'm aware that I am biased towards AEW, but I'm mostly biased towards AEW because they're signing my favorite wrestlers. I mean, they've got Minoru Suzuki and Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega, and that's really a big reason why I'm biased towards AEW. Because they have the best talent, as far as I'm concerned, especially right now. Once they got Bryan Danielson, it was over for me. Whatever team has Bryan Danielson is a winning team. That's basically how it slices out. But I think AEW is doing great. but we need to kind of be realistic. And people don't really need to take sides. Like, I think the WWE has some great talent, but they clearly have some issues as far as the booking and the kind of day-to-day direction of the company. And if you're a diehard WWE fan and you don't want to admit that, well, there's just certain things that you're not seeing. And AEW definitely has their issues as well. They're a much smaller company than WWE, which they have kind of addressed with some signings. They're, they do some goofy stuff. They have some wrestlers that WWE probably wouldn't allow on TV. Not on their main TV, right? AEW does some stuff, you kind of scratch your head. They have some storylines, you kind of wonder, what are they doing? AEW is not perfect. And that's what we do here on this channel. We give you the honest wrestling opinion. I like AEW and I like the WWE. These days I like AEW more. Not because I like Tony Khan or Tony Khan is paying me money. Believe me, he's not. I just think AEW's delivering a more compelling wrestling show, especially after a Raw tonight. Just kind of boring. AEW is slightly more exciting. It's more jam-packed. More action. The stories move a little faster, too. WWE they got these formulas that they stick to. And AEW is lucky because they're a young company, so they don't have these formulas that we're kind of used to, that we've seen over years and years. We don't know the AEW patterns because they haven't revealed themselves, because they haven't been around long enough to establish the patterns. But the WWE has these booking patterns, and you see them coming a mile away, and they're just very ABC, and it's always ABC, and you don't really mix it up. A lot of stories that drag, like the Edge and Seth Rollins thing is a perfect example of a WWE storyline. They just do rematch after rematch for no particular reason, just because, well, we've decided this is going to be a 3-match feud and it's going to end in a Hell in a Cell in Saudi Arabia. Well, how do we get there? Well, let's have Seth Rollins go to Edge's house. Why? Because he's a dick, I guess? I don't know. And Edge is going to be mad about this? Oh, yeah. He's going to sit on a chair in the ring. You know that thing he does where he sits on the chair and he gets real mad? Hey, he's done that a lot, right? Yeah, but let's do it again. And that's what they do. They kind of just, they book these feuds where we're going to have several rematches and it doesn't really go anywhere. How many times have we seen Roman Reigns wrestle Brock Lesnar? How many times have we seen Goldberg wrestle Bobby now? I mean, it's the second time, right? Third time between Seth and Edge. The WWE tends to kind of drag things out. And it's slow. And you never really get past anything. AEW, their booking is more interesting right now because they'll give you a match, a big match, and then they won't do that match again for like a year. Like, they'll give you Kenny and Hangman. Kenny will win, and then they won't do it again for a while. Months and months and months, and then you'll do it again at a big pay-per-view, and, and you tie the whole story together over a few years or a few months or even a couple years or whatever you want to do, but you don't have the same match over and over again. You have the match, you have a result, and you have both characters move on from that result and deal with it as their characters would, with losses and victories and steps along the way and ups and downs and interactions with other people other than the person that they're feuding with. It's more complex. It's more interesting. You tell a more complex story over a longer period of time. It's higher level storytelling. It doesn't always hit the mark, but what they're doing at their top level and even at their mid-card level, it's a higher level of storytelling. It's a more cohesive story and a more interesting story where you're left wondering more often than the WWE. There's more suspense in AEW than there is in WWE. WWE struggles to create that sense of suspense and anticipation for their matches. You don't get that buzz for most WWE matches. AEW, people are already debating online who should win, Kenny or Hangman at Full Gear. People are legitimately debating, like, well, if Hangman wins, he could finally culminate and be the champion everybody wants to see him be and be the man, and, this is his destiny. But if he loses, well, he's got to regroup, and, man, can he ever do it? And maybe somebody else takes the belt, and maybe Bryan Danielson takes the championship from Kenny Omega, and then Hangman's like, damn, I thought I was going to be the guy to do it. And then maybe Hangman takes the championship from Bryan Danielson down the road, and then Kenny could take it from Hangman, and you do a story that lasts years and years where Hangman maybe becomes champion, but Kenny's always that guy who's his kryptonite, and then maybe, in 2 or 3 years, Hangman finally beats Kenny and takes the belt, and that's how we do it. Like, you don't have to do it where a lot of people want it, where it's like, yes, give me Hangman getting the win now. Hangman is over now. Hangman must win. Hangman does not have to win. He can lose and still not only be as big a star, but even bigger. I might argue he might be a bigger star if he does lose at Full Gear. So you have those types of matches, main event level with that type of anticipation. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel does not have that level of anticipation. It just doesn't. That's the difference. The stories aren't as interesting. They don't have as much emotion into it, and they don't have those long story arcs. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns have wrestled each other countless times. What is their personal relationship? How do they feel about each other? This whole thing's about Paul Heyman and whether or not he's in cahoots with Brock too. Is Heyman like a scheming jerk, or is he sincerely with Roman? What does Brock think of Roman? Does Brock like Roman? Has Brock ever spoken directly to Roman? What does Roman think of Brock? Any thoughts? We don't know. They don't have a personal relationship. They've wrestled for years, and there's no feel on what this match means for Brock or what it means for Roman. Just, continuing the reign for Roman. And for Brock, it's like, I don't know. He wants to fuck with Roman because, he thinks it's funny. That's been basically Brock. He comes in, he's like, oh, Heyman's with me, Roman. Ha, 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 ha. And Roman's like, oh, no. And Brock just laughs and walks away. The story is not as good. It's not as interesting. All right, guys. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, everybody checking in tonight. Thank you, Bob Cote. Thank you, Made in Chinao. Thank you, everybody checking in. Especially thank you to Harold Schneider. You are the super chat leader of the night. Appreciate you, Harold. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight on the Raw Post Show. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. We like comments. Do you have a comment? Yeah, click the bell so you get notified when we come on, because you never know when I might be here. I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to be here next. I think Thursday after Crown Jewel, right? That's it? I think I'm double booked on Thursday. I got the show after Crown Jewel, and then I'll be back here Thursday night for Ringside Report MMA with AJ and Freddie, where we will preview UFC. Oh, Paulo Costa taking on Marvin Vettori. That's a good UFC fight, finally. Past couple of UFC shows have been shit, just garbage. Terrible. So this weekend could be better. The next couple weekends will be way better in the UFC, so that's good. So I'll be back here. No Rampage or Dynamite on Wednesday night this week. So no post-Dynamite show because Dynamite's on Saturday again this week. But we will be here after Crown Jewel on Thursday. We'll be watching Crown Jewel, and then Thursday afternoon we will do the post-show here on the Ringside Report Network, and then Thursday night for Ringside Report MMA. So a double shot of me on Thursday. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and don't forget to join the team, become a member. Go to join.ringsidereport.net or click the join button that is right beneath me. Join. Right there. Okay? I will see you again on Thursday after... Uh-oh. Oh, damn. Angelo drops a super chat and takes the lead away from Harold Schneider.
Super chat.
Thank you, Angelo. Right at the buzzer. Angelo says, thanks for the recap tonight. Much appreciated. Didn't watch Raw, watch Monday Night Football. Oh, yeah. There's football now, right? Yeah. I am so unaware of all the other sports, guys. I cannot tell you. I watched a bit of football the other day. I guess it was yesterday, Sunday. Sunday is the day. I know that. I watched a bit. I say I watched. I saw maybe a play of the Cowboys and I want to say Patriots. And I saw that the Cowboys had a 1-4 or a 4-1 record, and the Patriots were 2-3 or something. I don't know. They had each played 5 games or 4 or 5 games. And I was like, God damn, we're 4 or 5 weeks into the NFL season already? When did this start? I was completely unaware that the NFL season had started. I guess I kind of knew. I was slightly aware, but 4 or 5 weeks in? Are we really that deep into the season? I was surprised that the Cowboys had that many wins at this point in the game. Johnny North must be happy. He's a Cowboys fan. So that's why I was watching. I was watching for Johnny because I know he likes the Cowboys. And I had no idea that they were that deep into the season. No idea. So good for them. I hope they won. I don't know. I don't really care. But that's to say that I have no idea what's going on. I know hockey has started. I know the Canadians are not doing well because I live in this city of Montreal, and I see it around. People talk about it. I haven't watched any hockey, but I've heard that they're not doing well. So, hopefully that turns around and everything goes well, and all your hopes and dreams come true.